According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average grocery bill has increased by about 23.5% since just February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. This means that if you used to spend about $500 per month on groceries, this was soon $618, an increase of $118 over just 3 years. This might even be more depending on what kind of shopper you are and what you tend to buy at your local grocery store. This is obviously absurd and something a lot of us have never experienced before in our lives. Today, let's discuss some strategic ways on how to manage your second largest expense besides your rent, mortgage, and of course, adult diapers. Saving money is great and all, but it wouldn't make any sense for us to discuss without first talking about groceries, since it is such a large portion of our monthly budget. These days, it's easy to spend hundreds and into the thousands of dollars per month if you have a family on groceries. And so this video is dedicated to helping you save as much money as possible on that monthly grocery bill, so you aren't left feeling that you need to scan a TV as a banana at self-checkout. Eating and sleeping well before we go to the grocery store has a huge impact on how much we spend and the quality of foods that we end up buying. When we're tired, we tend to crave more sugary foods as we go back to our more primal selves where we're craving calories, and so we'll end up buying treats. This also entails buying more things and spending more money because of that. And same thing goes for when you eat well before you go to the grocery store. If you're not hungry, you're less likely to buy things that you otherwise wouldn't need and simply stick to the essentials that you added to your list in the first place. By doing this and by implementing this myself, I've easily saved over $100 per month just by doing this simple thing of eating and sleeping well before doing groceries. How much you save is a direct output of how hungry you get and what day of the week it is. For me personally, I'm always tired on Mondays, so I try to avoid doing groceries on Mondays. Because of this, I'd typically just advise you to go either before work if at all possible, or even on the weekends. I know it's a little bit busier, but it will help you save more money. One thing that I absolutely swear by and tell everybody that I know is to just compare prices and quality of store name versus brand name items. This does entail doing some experimentation and trying both versions of something. For example, like a coffee brand, and trying the store brand versus the name brand and seeing if there really is a difference in quality. In many cases, I've noticed there is just no quality difference, but there's a huge difference in price. Some exceptions apply here. Obviously, Tostitos salsa and the round tortilla chips that come with them and brand name Oreos are non-negotiable for me, and you'll have your own list, of course. But for the most part, things you can buy as a store brand that just has no difference in quality is a great opportunity to save some money. Things that I've found some great value in is things like canned crushed tomatoes, beans, pastas, and even cereal that tend to be very close in quality and taste almost identical to the name brand. And I've done the math here. This saves me at least $40 every time I go to the grocery store, if not more, depending on how big my grocery haul is. And that's just for me as an individual. So with a family, this could easily be $160, $200 per grocery trip. Take, for example, a real Canadian superstore that I shop at here in Canada, and very similar for Walmart or Costco. Their store brand is called No Name. At Walmart, it's called Great Value, and at Costco, it's called Kirkland Signature. So these three offer great prices. As an example, the no-name version of 925 grams of ground coffee at Superstore went for $8.99, whereas Nabob, as the other brand of coffee that I would typically buy, was $19.99. So just by buying the store brand version, which I personally don't notice the difference, it saves you $11. So I definitely advise you, if you have certain things that you don't notice a difference in quality, and of course test this out, to just go that route and go the store brand name. It'll save you so much money over time. Another thing I've noticed helps me a lot to save money at the grocery store is to just compile a grocery list, but not just any list. I like to find recipes first, write down all the ingredients I don't have, and then add snacks at the end. That's the most important part, to not have food waste, which is massive. The average American wastes about 325 pounds of food every single year, which is equivalent to about $49 per month that you simply just throw in the garbage. I think we can do better than that. And kind of going along with this is to organize your grocery list. Although it's not easy to do in your head, if you just take note of where things are, maybe even draw a diagram of your local grocery store, where things are and what the aisles are labeled, you can get an idea of in what order you should create your grocery list, which will help you wander less through the store. They want you to wander so that you find different products and buy more than you need. An interesting tip I came across is to not go grocery shopping on or the days following payday. This is an interesting one because it's very psychological. If you have this idea that you just got paid, you have this money in your bank account balance is a lot bigger now than it was a couple of days ago. This is going to psychologically shift your thinking to make you think that you can buy more than you need when it's not even necessary. And so you'll end up spending more and buying more extravagant things you might not need. So I like to wait at least 5 days, maybe even a week after payday to go to the grocery store. Doing groceries in a pinch, or that is when you don't have a lot of time, this is a great way to cut down on your grocery bill. The reason is that we don't have as much time to look through each aisle, to look and compare different things, and we don't go sniffing around at those things that we might want to buy or we contemplate buying. And so we're just quick in and out through our list. We buy what we need, not what we want, but also spend much less. Have a doctor appointment in an hour? Go shopping. If you have to be home for dinner by 6 and it's currently 4:30, go shopping.
Are you behind on your credit card bills? Good, pick up the phone and start dialing.
Do it in those times where you know you have something going on, you have some deadline, somewhere to be, something to do, and do it then. Do it at a time when you're in a time crunch, and it will save you so much money. Going with our theme of simplicity here, not only does that save you money by not spending as much time in the grocery store, it also saves you that hard-earned time that we just talked about in the previous video, because time is your biggest friend and your biggest asset. Something else to consider is to be very mindful of coupons. I know they seem all good, but realistically, if you're looking at them before you go to the grocery store or even while you're shopping, you are psychologically thinking about these deals that might get you to buy these just in case items, to collect points, or to just save money that you otherwise wouldn't have spent anyways. So instead of falling for this trap and buying things you don't need with coupons, simply save the coupons and don't look at them until you have everything in your cart and you're ready to go check out, and then see what's in your cart and look at the coupons to see which ones make sense, and then don't add anything that you don't have in your cart already. Another one we also don't consider very often is that the middle of the shelf costs the most for those brands because it's at eye level. It's obviously more expensive to market things in those spots, and for this reason they're also going to be more expensive. So what's really interesting here is that if you look low and high, it can save you a lot of money. Typically the store brand names will be higher up or lower down, and cheaper items that may be the same quality as anything else are in those places. But again, if you're in a time pinch, also take this into consideration. You might go through the store very quickly not thinking about this. So again, this could maybe counteract that extra buying you do by paying that premium for the middle shelf. One of the traps we often fall for is things like Costco or Sam's Club. In theory, it is one of the best ways to save money, but it can be very easily mismanaged, and it can actually lead to spending much more than you need to and a lot more food waste. And by this, I mean that if a 2 times the volume tub of spinach that you'd normally buy at, say, Walmart, at Costco is 1.5 times the price, you might think this is a great deal because you're only spending 1.5 times more money, for double the volume of spinach. But if you typically have a hard time finishing just a normal tub from Walmart, this is not a good decision because that extra is just going to waste and you're essentially just throwing money away. And it's very easy in these situations, in these large big box stores like Costco and Sam's Club, to overspend and to buy much more than we might need. So what I really like to do is to do this for non-perishables, things like rice or canned goods, frozen fruit or frozen vegetables, and even things like cupboard staples that just stay good for years. And of course, this will last you a long time and it will make a lot of sense money-wise. By taking these tips to heart and putting them in your grocery cart every time you go to the grocery store, you'll be sure to be more mindful of exactly what you're buying, your state of mind, how hungry you are, how tired you are, and in the end, how much you are spending. This leaves much more money on the table to invest in assets and to minimalize your life, while at the same time also reducing food waste and creating less of a problem for the world. And it makes grocery shopping less gross. Why? I'll talk to you later. Oh, and check this out if you enjoyed this video.